God dang it, it twitched. I was going to see if I could hold it out. Dang it.
Oh, you're so close.
I was this close. I was like, I'm going to freeze frame. See how long I can make it. But it didn't work. Okay. Hi, everyone. Another week, another podcast. Last week, we really had anything to talk about. We had more than enough to do a podcast within the next 2 days after the last podcast happened. So this weekly thing is interesting every time. So let's get to talking about our weeks. Bree, go ahead.
I'm finally finished that thing I can't talk about yet, and I finished my pilot script revision, and this one I'm happy with. Oh, and then the thing hold on, I'm gonna just disappear. I have a little magic trick right here. And I got this bad boy.
I picked that up as well. I found it at Walmart. That thing's sick.
It is 4K, baby. Yeah, very no, nice. And they even like the inside packaging as I throw Blu-rays on myself.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that it's an actual like digi case because I hate it when they do it the other way. And it's like, do you guys like remember the old like 20th Century Fox like DVDs where they used to double rate it on both sides instead of doing a two disc and they had the cheap digipacks? I hated those.
I hated those.
The only thing I hated more is remember when they used to sell DVDs that were like full screen?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then whenever you got it for like Christmas, you were like, like you couldn't say anything.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I have one more trick to show. Just pretend this is a curtain.
Broken.
All right. All right, there we go. Wait for it.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yep, it's work in progress. Nice. We're gonna make the screen go back. Hopefully I'm gonna get that done tomorrow before I have to start packing for California, and that is how my week has been.
Nice. Mike, how was your week then?
Pretty much business as usual. Last week I missed the podcast because there was a very, very special episode of Dancing with the Stars. It was hair metal night. Gene Simmons was the guest judge, and you know he's Gene Simmons.
He's shockingly tall, by the way.
Yeah, mm-hmm. There was surprisingly a lot of backlash for his appearance.
Really?
Yeah, because there's not that much crossover between the Dancing with the Stars audience and people who are very familiar with Gene Simmons.
It's really that really
there
is
it? Them to get Striper,
right? Or maybe they could have gotten Dee Snider.
I mean, what are we gonna? Small tangent with Gene Simmons. He was the one that made me realize how much money celebrities make at cons. Because I was waiting to get in line to meet Randy Orton, and I asked like the con staffer, like the security guard, I'm like, just out of curiosity, like, what's their take home? Like, I kind of want to know. You don't have to tell me, but I'm just wondering. That was the first con I ever went to, and she's like, "Oh, they get to keep everything." I'm like, "Are you for real?" He's like, "Yeah, they don't pay the people to come."
Really?
But like, yeah, like at least for that and how most cons work, he's like, "Yeah, they don't pay to come. We ask them to come, and they're the ones that get the people to buy the tickets to sell attendance and stuff like that to get to come. So they go and like they get to keep 100%. At least that's how a good chunk of the cons do it." And I watched Gene Simmons while I waited in the line for Randy Orton's thing take pictures for probably an hour and 20 minutes. It was $110 to get a picture with him, and he probably took a picture with 300 people.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Because like he shakes your hand, says whatever, does the picture, and you walk out into a row of printers that are consistently printing them out and handing them out like clockwork. So staying there for an hour and a half probably made like $30,000. I know I'm not great at math, but like
now you guys understand why a lot of voice actors or just like semi-retired actors make a killing doing the whole con circuit.
And voice actors go to cons because it's the main way they make their money because they get paid ass otherwise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why when they do the stupid things like with the Funko Pops just to resell them, I'm like, honestly, like, no, you don't get to like do that for free, and it's like annoying. And I'm glad more people are getting like, I guess, slut shamed for it.
There's actually the last con that I went to, there's certain artists that'll point blank just say no.
And honestly, they should.
One. Yeah, or limit it to one, because like there's pictures of like Todd Habercorn showing of a person pulling up a wheelbarrow
Jesus.
of fucking Funko Pops.
Anyway,
shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's like the Disney park scalpers.
Yeah, the thing I was going to say about Gene Simmons, while I was waiting in the line and he was leaving his, like the security was, he was following the security as he was going through. And then all of a sudden you saw him like stooping back like 3 steps, and he starts going to everybody in line, giving them fist bumps and like talking and shaking hands, being really super kind. And all of a sudden the security goes around and he's like, guys, seriously, I know you want to talk, but I need to go. I'm so sorry. And he just like shakes his head and runs away. He was awesome, but go ahead.
Anyway, what else in my week? Big week for movies. Obviously, I had to see Terrifier 3. We'll talk about that more when we get to one of the buy or sell topics, or one of the movie topics, because we have a lot to talk about with Joker and how it at the box
performs so well.
Top 10 film of the year.
And then the other movies I saw were Saturday Night and Piece by Piece, which is a very interesting Lego music documentary biopic thing. Go see it. It's really good.
All right. Fiona.
What was my week? Oh yeah, a fucking storm. That was my week. So last week, gee, what was it? So it was kind of craziness because as I think most of you guys know, that I help out my best friend Red with her streams and everything. So on Thursday and Friday, she went off to do a convention in Georgia, not to do one, but she went to one over there and met one of our friends there, and one of our mutual friends. And so it was kind of a strange week, kind of a strange weekend, because I didn't have streams to do really. So I kind of just did, I did one of my own on last week, Tuesday. And then of course the storm happened, and that was craziness. Luckily nothing really happened at my place, thankfully. Like we didn't even lose electricity all that much. So that was kind of good. But I know of a lot of people who did. So, and a lot of storm damage and just crazy things happened. So that was what a just existentially scary week. But apart from that, what else did I do? I took part in a 24-hour charity stream with said mutual friend that Red got to go meet. And I got to do some things like a monster dating show. I got Morticia. I was pretty happy with that. Morticia could take me out for sure. Anyway, it was either Morticia or Dracula. I chose Morticia. All they had to do was say goth mommy. I was like, yep, fine, I'm there. Anyway, so there was that. What else was going on? Apart from that, it's just been sort of trying to relax and find some sense of normalcy. Other than that, yeah. Oh, I finally saw Transformers 1, speaking of which.
Nice.
Finally saw that. That was good. Surprisingly good. I was a little bit skeptical because I was like,
advertised Transformers film ever?
Stupidly advertised. Yeah. Just terrible advertising. Honestly, I feel like they captured the essence of Generation 1 Transformers, and I thought that was really cool.
Also, did you see that guy who has been standing Transformers 1? They actually sent him stuff, which honestly good for him.
As they showed up, the guy on Twitter, yeah.
Like he saved that whole movie. Single-handedly.
But yeah, it was a good movie. And I liked the ending too. And I was like, oh man, I'm kind of invested in this story too. And I don't like that they're enemies at the end. Anyway, but that's how it goes.
Agree that that Buscemi as Starscream is like unbelievable good casting.
Top notch, man.
I'm glad that Buscemi is finally in a good Transformers movie.
Finally. I know. Oh my gosh. Right. You were so right about that.
Wasn't he wasn't he like the stupid like wizard or whatever fucking shit in the Bayformers?
So, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Apart from that, I watched Blade for the first time the other night. I have never seen that movie. I was not allowed to see it. When it came out. So I watched it finally.
Saw motherfuckers trying to ice skate uphill.
I finally saw that. It was brilliant, and I love that line so much. And I don't know where he got that line from, but it was brilliant. Perfect. Utterly perfect. I mean, that was the role he was born to play, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I would be okay with it if there was only ever one Blade. But well, technically there's not because sticky fingers. But anyway, we don't. Yeah,
we don't.
That's fine. Anyway, yeah, it was an okay week. I'm a little bit out of it tonight. I'm a little bit tired, but other than that, it's fine.
I'm kind of with you on that. I've been working an asinine amount of overtime for con stuff. Prepping for a con. It's a few weeks out, but I'm still getting some stuff ready for it. I've been communicating with a person who's making me an actually honest to God nice, modeled Nero wig. So I'm pretty fucking excited about that because I've been using the living shit out of the cheap one that I got and it's about ready to fall apart. So having an actually nice one to use that fits my gigantic fucking head. This Canadian cosplayer, I got sent to a wig shop in a town not far from me. She's like, I need you to get X and X measurements. I'm like, okay. So I did the thing and I sent it to her and it took 20 minutes and she goes, are these accurate measurements? Yeah, why? He's like, this is 2 inches bigger than almost every other wig base that I normally make. I'm like, yeah, I got a huge fucking head. And then he's like, what hat sizes do you wear? I'm like, well, I have to take a vice grip to stretch out XLs because my head's too damn big. And for new eras, I wear H. She goes, oh, your head is that big. Okay, got it. Understood. He's also making me Virgil's katana, an actual one in the sheath and all that. So I'm getting stuff on Instagram. That's been pretty cool.
That's cool.
I finished Alan Wake, which is really good.
Nice. Yep. Very good game.
I'm gonna have some words with Josh about some of the mechanics in that game. Other than that, it was fantastic.
I agree. I don't disagree with you on that front. Yeah.
Those poltergeist shadow things, I was about ready to put a hole through my screen in certain chunks where you just need to run through a back of them. But I'm going to be starting Life is Stranging the living shit out of my streams until that comes out. And then it'll be Dragon Guard, the Until Dawn remake, or Dragon Age the Veilguard, the Until Dawn remake, the Horizon remaster, and there's another one that I'm forgetting. Oh, yeah, the other Life is Strange game that's all coming out within a week of each other. Oh, and a Horizon that comes out a week later.
Oh, the games.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll actually be playing through Horizon on stream for the first time. I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
With the new updates and stuff like that. So yeah, I am pretty excited about that. Yeah, that's all I really got going on week-wise, other than, like I said, working an ass load of overtime, because I'm also saving to put a heating and cooling system in my house at sometime next year. So I've been working a metric ass load of overtime because I got told what the price would be, and I'm just like, and I don't want to take out a loan. So
yeah, it's eye-watering.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Being a homeowner is great,
isn't it? Wonderful.
It's wonderful.
Love it.
Great.
Really
I will say taxes are pretty okay in Wisconsin where I live, except for when they redo the road in front of you, and they make you guys pay for it, and then somehow they ran out of money halfway through the project.
Because that makes sense.
So they had to stall it and then do the rest later. I'm like, how'd you run out of money when you're not paying for it? It's almost like our whole country runs that way no matter what. All right. Anyway.
Just run out there and be like, why don't you fill that hole filler?
Yes. Get it in there. It used to be my old application. I mean, just sorry about what. That's what my ex called me. Anyway, so all right, now we're buying stuff section. It's gonna be a fun night. I'm already loopy. Okay, so all right, we'll start with Mike. Buy or sell that Nicholas Hoult is replacing Harry Styles in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu.
Buy. This is like the easiest thing I could buy. Like not even because of Nicholas Hoult. I do love him. He's a great actor, but Harry Styles, he's not an actor. He's kind of proven over the last couple films that he's not really an actor. So yeah, good riddance.
Are you telling me that you weren't super excited when he showed up as Star Fox at the end of Eternal?
Yeah, because we'll see that character again.
Honestly, like the only thing that I saw him that I even remotely liked in and now I'm totally just blanking on the Nolan film name.
Dunkirk?
Dunkirk, thank you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fiona, buy or sell?
Bye. Let's get some substance over Styles.
I see what you did there.
I like it. Bree?
I hope Umbreon would be proud of that. I really do.
He would. Yeah, probably. He's probably going to go join the stream in about 2 seconds just because of that.
I know he's been summoned.
I mean, it's just whole, like just on an aesthetic level and like an acting thing. It just, I don't know. Harry Styles just always kind of felt like a weird fit for that kind of project. He's more of a modern actor, as Holt has more of that like classic Hollywood, kind of like vibe to it. So if we're, remaking a film that's like over 100 years old, I mean, I think it's the right choice to make. I mean, it's just sometimes things just work themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kiona, buy or sell the first look we got at Superman in Crypto.
I liked it. I'll buy it. Yeah. The official Crypto image. Yeah, why not?
Yes.
Go for it.
I buy this, and that image is now my new lock screen
nice
display.
Nice. Yes, I like it quite a bit. Bree.
Yeah.
I will defend Crypto even if I have to kill everyone in the room. And yes, that was a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference.
Yes. I will kill everyone in the room and then myself. I've only had her for 5 minutes. All right. I had to put this in here because I saw someone make a comment about this on Twitter that might have been the funniest thing I've seen this week. Kiona, buy or sell that Bandai Namco has rated for PS4 and PS5 in Taiwan a Death Note game, likely titled in English Death Note Killer Within.
Why the hell not? Why not? I feel like they've kind of missed that boat by like at least 5 years, but okay, I mean, sure.
I mean, I kind of get it because
they can throw more people in a windowless room and be like, hey, now we've canceled this project.
I mean, if it actually goes through, I mean, I kind of get it because now, Death Note is old enough to be considered like a nostalgic anime, which, oh my God. Have you guys seen like that one Twitter account that's like vintage like anime? And then I saw a clip from Naruto and I was about to vomit.
Oh, jeez.
I was like,
yo.
Yeah, no, that's I just really kind of want to bring it up for that, but I had to
That's
laugh.
hilarious.
The comment that I saw for this was when the person said the gameplay will just be 2 people trying to convince the other one to dox themselves.
Oh my God, I saw that tweet. That was great. I'm kind of curious how the gameplay is. If it's going to be almost kind of like a visual novel thing, I could see it working. But
assume I don't know what else it could be. You just
what is it called? What was the subtitle of the game again?
The Killer Within.
The Killer Within. Yeah. Jeez.
Which does not sound like a title you'd apply
to something. Does not sound like an anime game adaptation title. or manga adaptation
yeah.
game title.
Anyway, Mike,
nice.
buy or sell that Crossfade is reuniting and doing its first show since 2012.
Jesus, that's a name I haven't heard in forever.
That's the name I've not heard in years.
I don't know.
It's been 84 years.
I'm kind of neutral on this one.
They're
a band that exists.
Yeah, I really don't care. Just being honest, I'm like, cool.
I will say I was listening to an interview about this. Apparently, why they stopped doing stuff like fucking sucked. Apparently, they went back to their studio. The lead singer went back and went to his home, and they were going back to their studio that had all this equipment and stuff like that had been gathered over like 35 years. And it was a heater caught fire and burnt down and destroyed the entire studio.
Shit.
Oh, geez.
Merch, recording equipment, audio equipment, their entire lives just went up in a flash.
Oh my God. No, that sucks.
And that's what stopped the band.
Oh, that's terrible.
I don't blame them.
I didn't know that.
For just being like, you know what? We're done.
I will tell you, I'm one of those kids that posted the hook of Cold on my Facebook status like 68 times when I was a moody middle schooler. I never really wanted you to see the screwed up side of me that I keep locked inside of me so deep. It always seems to get to me.
Oh, and then the same, you're like liking and watching videos of like animal I've become, like, that.
Yeah. No, I think that's cool. Like, honestly, like the band had two singers. I actually thought they had a good like sound to it, but like hearing that's why they stopped, kind of like sucks. Like if I hear that all of a sudden Trapped is doing songs again, I'm gonna lose my shit.
About
oh
that.
No.
Oh my God.
Are you about to tell me that I missed an announcement for Trapped?
No, that's the thing. They've never broken up. They
well, I know they've never broken up, but like they aren't like. Have they been putting out new music?
Yeah.
Where?
Valid
what was the last CD they put out?
At a van
Valid
down
question.
by the river.
Do they have a residency in Ohio? Like, what are we doing?
Oh no, it's even more pathetic than that. They can barely fill out like local.
I'm sure Nick is
arenas.
super happy. I'm sure Nick is very happy about that.
Oh, we have joked about that plenty of times.
So wait, the van down by the river is actually accurate?
Have like a town crier going around like get your Trapped merch here, get your Trapped merch.
Trapped.
Trapped has come out with a new album.
Well, you take them on.
Yeah, so their last album came out.
This podcast is going great.
Their last album came out in May of this year. And just
what?
This year?
Yeah.
What?
Ow.
And it sold like nothing.
I feel like I'm in a
dude.
What are we?
I was almost scared that you were gonna say like they had #1 on the rock charts.
No.
What have I missed that Trapped is still making music this year?
The most played song on the radio is by Trapped.
I'm legit having trouble processing.
Okay. All right. They will never
2024 is a year that is definitely happening.
Yeah.
It's a cursed year as far as I'm concerned.
So you're telling me this year I could listen to a brand new Trapped album and Slim Shady album? Am I in middle school again?
I don't ask me. Time is just time just is doing what it's doing.
I'm just be diamond.
That actually makes my head hurt. All right. Anyway, so on to different news. Jonah, buy or sell that NetEase has announced Destiny Rise, a new Destiny mobile game.
hey, it's Destiny Immortal. Don't you guys have phones? I love that that was like the title of Dado's video about it was just like, hey, don't you guys have phones?
In 2024? What?
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, speaking of Eminem, I'm gonna be still be on my BlackBerry that he somehow still has, even though the network shut down.
No. Even better, on my T-Mobile Sidekick.
Yes. So
Just have gimmicks.
So you know that this is going to be full of bullshit monetization because you can tell from every single game that NetEase makes, including First Descendant, which is total and utter bullshit. Because like if you look at that game, you have to buy colors. It's ridiculous. You can't personalize anything at all unless you get like a Twitch drop, and by then it's like the pizza backpack, which is exactly what I've always wanted. Anyway, for my high tech, guardian of the fucking earth. Anyway,
I'm gonna take that as a no from you. A hard sell.
That is a hard sell if I've ever heard one. I just don't give a shit. Who gives a shit about Destiny? Okay, at this point, who cares?
Like seriously, like are
Skill Up probably cares.
For it?
Yeah, they are. But the thing of it is that like, I mean, how are they gonna? I'm a huge Destiny guy. I played since the alpha. I understand the appeal of the game. I was hooked on the game for a very long time. And as a solo player, that's not an easy feat for the most part. I used to have a crew that we did some raids with, but but time happens and all that. But I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. Destiny is it's kind of dead to me at this point. And it makes me sad to say it because that was my comfort game. I don't really have a comfort game now. So.
I literally put that in there for you. You're the only, you weren't in this podcast. I wasn't going to bring that game up. All right.
No, I don't. I officially don't blame you. But honestly, all that we've seen so far is pre-alpha footage, and we've just seen like some of the characters and stuff that they're doing, and it really doesn't. It just looks like more Destiny to me, and it looks like NetEase is just going to monetize the hell out of it, and I'm just like, I don't know that. What is the point of this? Other than you guys have phones and.
I have a point because would it really be zeroing out if we didn't kick Destiny while it's down?
Of course not.
I mean, so many good people worked at that studio, and so many people worked on that game, and they were all good people. They've all been fired. They've all been let go. Meanwhile, their CEO goes and buys like $1 bajillion worth of cars, and what? I hate this. I just hate everything right now. The world is it's terrible.
It's not, and very that is
just another symptom of it. Yes. All right. Give me a Death Note. I'll use that thing for some good.
And just write the world.
Yes, exactly.
So worldo.
Moving on from that.
I almost did a spit take.
Mike, buy or sell that Michael Keaton is down to do Beetlejuice 3, and I quote, I do one of those films every year.
I mean, I buy it. He's just kind of a natural at that role. He could probably do that forever.
Free?
I mean, if he's down for it, and I'm glad he's just being honest about he's doing a film like that every year. He's like, like not sugarcoating it and just being like honest. Like he obviously is enjoying like making them, but he's like, I mean, that's just what's kind of being produced right now. So it's like, I mean, honestly, I kind of be more curious if they could just do more of like a series, but like a limited run series. But yeah, I mean, I think they got one more and they can.
Yeah. I buy anything with Michael Keaton in it. Mm-hmm. And he's having so much fun being the ghost with the most. So
he is.
Yeah.
I believe Dostoevsky once said, "Later, fucker." I think that's still my
favorite line in the movie. I'm like, you get one, and they used it correctly.
They used it correctly.
And then they censored the second one later on just to be funny. I was like,
I know, that was funny.
All right. Fiona, buy or sell the report that Halo Infinite 2 was in development on the slip space before it got canceled.
I mean, I buy that they were definitely working on something, but I'm kind of glad that they shelved it because Halo Infinite, not my favorite of the Halos.
I don't know.
So
You're pretty positive about it last time.
So positive. So positive. I'm positive about games, period. These days, let me tell you, games are not stressing me out at all. So,
you mean
I'm
it's
super positive about everything.
Positive like hepatitis A?
Exactly. I'm as positive as a blood disease.
We're not just serious. We're HIV positive.
Putting the P in positivity.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Buy or sell that Dogma is finally free from the Weinsteins, and Kevin Smith has big plans for it and possibly sequel ideas since everyone who lived through the film is still alive.
I buy this. I especially buy sticking it to Weinstein because I hope he rots in prison forever.
Amen. And I'm glad that almost every filmmaker, probably at this point, are probably free from like the clutches from whatever they had their hands on, so they can actually have the rights to their projects, because that's just bullshit.
Kiana?
I buy it. Yeah. Yep.
Free?
Yeah, I buy it. I mean, again, just to reiterate what Mike said, fuck him. Like, I hope he rots in hell.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll finally actually be able to get to watch it.
Agreement.
I've never seen it. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've seen clips all over the place. I know that Rickman's amazing in it, but other than that, no, I've never seen it. All right, Kiona, this is probably only a big deal for you and me. Sure. But buy or sell that it's been confirmed that Def Rebel will not continue producing music for WWE once their contract expires.
Can we actually get some themes that actually are related to the wrestlers and their personalities and actually have some character to them then? Please and thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly what that report means. It's just going to be, it's tipping time, and then random beeps and boops. And
they were definitely rebels.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, there or in reports that are going around is that they're going to be a hell of a lot more open to licensing actual fucking bands to make music again, which is an era of WWE that I miss.
Just hire back Jim Johnston if he's still around. I think he is.
Oh, he is. I just think that he's very happy with living off royalty.
Yeah, he probably is, honestly.
Because like Dave Bautista coming out to I Walk Alone.
Yeah,
you're not beating that. I'm okay with getting a couple more of those.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Fiona, buy or sell that Henry Cavill has been cast in the live-action Voltron movie.
Buy. Yes. I will watch that man do anything, including make another PC. But yeah, I mean, like he's going to be brilliant in that. Live action Voltron, okay, slightly cautiously optimistic there, but knowing that Cavill's going to be one of the lead actors in it definitely gives me some hope. So,
I mean, I'm kind of like tepid about like the whole Voltron thing, but it's where I'm like, I see it, but with Cavill, I'm like, let him just keep getting his nerd Infinity Stones. I'm like, whatever, it's fine.
Why not? Yeah,
this alone made me more excited about it. So, like, if Henry actually wants to be involved, because he only wants to be involved in shit if it's actually going to be good to what the source material is.
Could he also be involved in a Robotech adaptation too? Maybe, please, thank you.
At some point, wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio attached to one of those with like?
I think that was Akira. Akira?
No, wasn't he attached with one with like fucking? What's the director? I want to say James Cameron. No, that was Alita Battle Angel. Someone was attached to a Robotech movie for forever, and I swear it was with Leo DiCaprio.
Was that Tobey Maguire or somebody like that?
Or it might have been Tobey Maguire. That could be. But there was a Robotech movie with either Leo or Tobey that was going on for forever.
I think Leo was Akira. Or Akira.
Honestly, there's been so many actors attached to Akira.
I know.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right.
Who?
James Wan.
Oh yeah, that would make
This
sense.
is like back in like
But
2015.
what's a Robotech movie since like the freaking 90s? Like it's a
Yeah.
long time project.
Yes, it was Tobey
Yep.
Maguire.
Okay, got it. Who's
Okay.
supposed to direct it?
Um,
Was it
I think I
Cameron?
got that far.
I don't think so.
I thought there was a director, but anyway. Yeah.
I would take
Yeah.
Henry Cavill as a either Roy Fokker or maybe, I guess he could be Rick Hunter if he really wanted to.
He could be
Nah, he'd be
anyone.
better as Roy Fokker. Blonde Henry Cavill, why not?
What'd you call me?
Hey,
All right.
I mean Brock could play Roy Fokker if you wanted to,
God.
Brock. You could, my friend.
God. Oh, I would stick to voice acting roles unless they need to be some schmo in a romantic comedy that gets a girl after she's got lower standards. Anyway, Mike, buy or sell that David
Fair.
Howard Thornton wants to play DCU's Joker.
I buy this, and the reason why is because before the Terrifier movies, David Howard Thornton actually played the Joker in a couple Nightwing fan films.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought you were about to tell me that he's the guy that played him in Birds of Prey for that 2 seconds when he shoots the gun through the door.
No, that was some random
God.
nobody.
Brie?
I mean, he can play a clown, so like, why not?
Kiana?
Yeah, I'd say give him a shot. Sure.
I still,
Why the hell
part of me
not?
is like, I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I need to, at some point, whether it's an Elseworlds or something, I need to see Willem Dafoe as the Joker.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
I don't know either.
I think
Multiverse shenanigans, maybe.
I think unfortunately he just has aged out of the role.
I could see an old Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Could see that.
All right. Fiona, buy or sell that Apple and Amazon reached a deal to bring Apple TV Plus to Prime Video. This deal will add Apple TV Plus as an add-on for Prime Video subscribers joining Max, Paramount, AMC, and Starz. You were talking about Infinity Gauntlets earlier.
Yeah, I mean, why the hell not, right? They're trying to.
Anything to get more people to watch Apple TV use Plus, which, one of the best shows on there is Mythic Quest, supposedly, because McElhenney had some behind the scene photos. So allegedly, a new season is in production.
Oh, nice.
That show is so good. It's way better than it has any fucking right to be.
Yeah, my still favorite show on it's Ted Lasso. That show, I still just kind of like, how the fuck does this exist? That and is it Shrinking?
Oh yeah, and that just came back today, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shrinking's really good. Shrinking's fantastic.
Monarch was really good too. I enjoyed the first episode of that. I thought it was quite good. Matt Fraction.
Harrison Ford is fucking hilarious in Shrinking.
I need to get on that show.
The writing of that show is fucking off the charts. It's really, and Jason Segel is really good in it too. Mike, buy or sell?
Yeah, I buy this. Obviously, Apple TV Plus needs more people to watch their stuff, so they're like, yeah, let's just pair with the biggest streaming service in the world. Or not even a streaming service, like just the biggest media conglomerate in the world.
I was gonna say there's not much bigger things you can get outside of that than freaking getting with Amazon, which okay, I'm only dying. It's fine. Okay, so we're on to we got one last one. Mike, buy or sell that Lanterns have found it's Jon Stewart and Aaron Pierre.
I buy that a phenomenal actor has been cast in a role that is probably going to be really great.
That's you don't need to go any further because that's first segment we have later on.
That's exactly why I said what I said.
Yoda by herself.
I agree with Mike.
Yep, and I'm gonna just leave it at that too.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Good. We can leave the stupidity for later on in its own said subject. Dear Jesus. Okay, so
yes.
I'm not going to bring up a whole lot of this other than because I saw a joke on Twitter. And now we're not going to talk a lot about the leaks or any of the things that they go out about Nintendo because leaks aren't great. And I'm not going to bring up things that need to do with doxing or whatever and all that because it's bad. But I will say that I'm going to quote this guy because I read some things that I'm never going to be able to unread.
Oh, geez.
And I saw this post on Twitter, so I had to bring this up. After reading through the Game Freak leaks, I think it might be a possibility that the reason that their games feel so rushed is because they have to spend 30% of their manpower silencing the one guy who keeps submitting humans and Pokemons used to mate over and over and over again.
Good Lord.
Here's the thing that I don't understand why people are freaking out. I'm like, statistically speaking, I mean, there had to be people who are like that. I mean, it's Pokemon.
Statistically speaking, yes, but not on the company known shared servers. That one's a little weird. The fan fiction normally stays on your AO3 account.
Or if you're really going back, fanfiction.net.
Yes. But that's just like, I would like human sacrifice and interspecies breeding. And when I thought that, Pal World with guns was a thing that we were going to think was outlandish. Yeah. But, all right. So on to a, slightly less dark topic. Bandai Namco has canceled development on multiple. It's slightly. Bandai Namco has canceled development on multiple games, including ones related to One Piece and Naruto. Also, a reportedly unnamed contract project with Nintendo was shuttered as well. They are reducing staff through a traditional Japanese approach by sending workers to rooms where they're giving nothing to do, putting pressure on them to leave voluntarily. Now, there's an extra part of this. I had someone that I did not know this was a term, and I'm going to butcher how I say it. So everyone, I'm sorry. Del Walker on Twitter said, because Japanese game studios aren't legally allowed to fire employees like the West, they have a practice called, bear with me here.
Oidashi Baya?
Yeah, let's go with that. Where they make an employee's job so unpleasant they feel forced to quit. Staff are often put in windowless rooms with very little or nothing to do.
Oh, geez. That sounds... Why?
That somehow sounds worse than mass layoffs.
Because Japan.
I would rather...
Why do I imagine that there's like a guy dressed in all black with like a smiley face on and like a katana at his side, just ready to like do something in case they try to like leave the room? It's like that show Chopped. Whenever there was a guy that would get chopped, I was always like, there's got to be like a ninja dude sitting there in the rafters just waiting with a katana, and they just can't show us because lawsuits. You have been chopped, and then all of a sudden they're done.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think the most successful thing that Bandai Namco is going for them is Tekken 8 at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I guess the Dragon Ball game is.
Oh yeah, Sparky
made some
Zero
decent numbers. Yeah, Sparky Zero.
Yeah.
I heard the Vegeta giant Saiyan form. Like people were like rage quitting because it was like so hard.
Great 8 Vegeta is apparently nothing to fuck with. Apparently the game, how do I want to describe this? Takes its difficulty into show lore. So if the fight was that hard to show, it's going to be that much harder than in the thing. Like it scales with how the event happened in the game in the show, from how I'm hearing from people.
That seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I'm hearing people downright refusing to lower the difficulties and just like Dark Souls bashing their head up against walls.
Why not?
To do it. So I'm like, hey, all the power to you, but I'm not one of those people. And like, it's cool that they legit.
I will throw a controller before I do that.
Like, I think it's cool that they have like the entire story of Dragon Ball basically in a story mode. I mean, that's cool considering I think that roster has somewhere around 100 people. I think they said. Like that's Sparking Zero roster's insane.
I heard it was like a minimum of like 87 characters at the start.
Yeah, it's insane, and they all play uniquely.
And do you also get to that moment where you just throw like 3 punches and the other guy blocks the 3 punches, and then your characters just stand there and talk at each other and just trash talk each other for like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden you throw 3 more punches, and then the other guy throws 3 more punches, and then the guy says, "Your power level, it's over 9,000," and then they just start throwing like 5 punches, and then the other guy blocks it, and then he like powers up and Super Saiyans out, and then he goes over and just kicks the guy in the head like 5 times, and the guy falls to the earth and causes like a crater that devours all of like the planet, and then we're left with somehow a utopia and Piccolo's our leader. Does it also do that?
I don't think,
because then I might play it.
I don't think Fiona likes Dragon Ball.
How could you tell?
It's all right. I'm not offended.
I've never talked to him about Dragon Ball. I didn't know.
I'm so cranky tonight. What is up with me? I'm like I'm grumpy old man tonight. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's fine. It's kind of entertaining though, right? It's kind of entertaining.
It is. I wasn't expecting that.
You weren't expecting.
Not at all. Not even.
I have been cranky pants. This has been my cranky pants week. So, you're just getting it unplugged, I guess. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
I love you all.
It's all good. All right.
Big ups to Toriyama.
This just in. Xbox remembered that Rare existed. Xbox Studios boss Alan Hartman will retire next month, and Rare boss Craig Duncan will take over as Xbox Studios head. He will oversee Halo Studios, the Coalition, Turn 10, who I don't know what games they make. Playground,
Forza Horizon, I think, or Forza Motorsport, one of the Forzas.
Oh, I thought that was Playground. I could be wrong, but either way,
Playground does Horizon. Yeah. Turn 10 regular.
Oh, got it. I didn't know there were 2 separate people that did that. And Rare, Obsidian, Ninja Theory, and Compulsion Games, The Initiative, Double Fine, and more. So basically, everything that is not in the ZeniMax buyout and the ABK buyout.
Who knew that they remembered Rare?
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. For releasing.
Who would have thought? Look at us now. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that means that I can finally have the game I've been hoping for, a reboot of Grab by the Ghoulies.
You're going to get that as soon as I get Banjo 3. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. I want somebody to grab me by the Ghoulies right now.
Also, I know it's not a Rare game, but it'll come out the same year as the new Dino Crisis game.
They had the asinine ability to put fucking Dino Crisis on PlayStation Plus, just the first Dino Crisis. And I just had to wait for them because they've said we're willing to do more properties. We'll see.
You just reminded me of something that I saw, and I hope you don't mind me interjecting this real quick, Brock. But apparently, Capcom was working on a Darkstalkers game and then canceled it.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
It's very boo.
It's hard to scan an actual cat lady. I don't know if you.
Well, I mean, hire Jessica Negri, put her in a costume. There's problem solved.
Well, maybe they're just not looking hard enough for the cat ladies.
Obviously not.
They're hiding. That they're somewhere. It just, I don't know, get a little bit of like, it's catnip, go, and maybe they'll come out.
Listen, we need more Grab by the Ghoulies, and we need more Darkstalkers, and we need more Dino Crisis, and everybody just needs to get your asses in gear and make them. Damn it. That's all. Cranky pants.
Here's the problem with that though, and this is why a lot of people get mad at Sony Studios too.
I know.
Capcom is never outsourcing a game again.
I know. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. But still, it makes me sad. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
Especially during October, man. You don't tell us that Darkstalkers got canceled in Spooky Month.
Oh, to be fair, Capcom didn't outright go and say, "Hey, we didn't do this. We have to rely on leakers to do that."
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh,
all right.
Anyway, maybe one day.
The next story I have thoughts on.
Speaking of leakers, an Overwatch 2 developer admits that the game was unfinished to Jason Schreier. Everyone said, "You worked 6 years. You worked 6 years on this?" They go, "No, we worked for 1 year on the game you got. We spent all those other years on all that PvE stuff, the PvE stuff that they cut from the game."
What? Overwatch 2 was an unfinished game? Who could have foreseen that revelation? that it clearly existed to cover up Backlash. And it's basically the same name that they just rebooted.
I am shocked and odd. This is that face that I make when I'm shocked and odd.
They picked the company that is known for making some of the best games and stories and games. And they're like, "Nah, let's not do that."
Why would we?
Great business strategy.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Their management's doing great.
I know.
Doing great things. Great things. Just the pinnacle of gaming.
69 billion.
It's all been worth it. We're gonna reach that number of layoffs by the end. We're gonna reach that number of layoffs by the end of next year.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We're creeping towards 3,000. God, I wish I was joking about that. Anyways, all right, on to even more great gaming news. Sega warns players that they actually can't own Metaphor ReFantazio. In the license agreement, you acknowledge and agree that you shall have no ownership or other property interest in the product, and you further acknowledge and agree that all such rights are and shall forever be owned and to the benefit of Sega.
Is that because of the new California law?
No.
I wonder. Yeah.
You can't own this is a thing that's been a thing. This isn't that you can't even own anything a part of it. This is you cannot own this game. They only have it on this game.
What?
Weird.
Because you don't even own a license to it. Which is what the California law was stating on all online stores. They have to say that you're buying just a license to play it. This is in the user agreement, even if you have a physical game.
Even if you have a physical game.
Yeah, this is in the user agreement.
What does that even mean?
Like that. What?
Like legally, what does that even mean?
Because I can explain it to you. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but I'm pretty sure Kiona does, that basically you have 20% of the game on the actual disc that you own.
That's true. Yeah.
The rest of it gets taken off of the internet and the World Wide Web of all of the Ethernets and all the ways you're connected, and then put into the system when it recognizes you put the disc in. So they could basically just go, that 80%'s ours. Fuck you.
But here's the thing, because I'm assuming they're on like Blu-ray disc or whatever. Like usually those could hold about like 400 gigabytes.
They can.
I know. I'm like, in theory, like pretty much every like AAA game, like in theory, if they actually like fucking compress it, should be able to fit on one Blu-ray disc.
Should, but they put as least amount of work as possible in, just so to say, hey, you own a disc, you put it in, it recognizes it, and that's it. All except for games like Red Dead Redemption 2, where you literally needed 2 fucking discs to run it if you had bought it physically. There was an install and a play disc. I felt like I was playing fucking Diablo 2 again.
Or Final Fantasy 7. I'm like, honestly, I kind of miss that. Remember, like, Titanic on 2 VHSs? You have to play a game on 2 fucking discs.
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
What was it? It was the cinematics disc, the install disc, and the play disc. Was that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the 3-way split was. man, it was. But
So
yeah.
I will end our segment on this with this thought. Maybe the game itself is a metaphor, and the real Fantasio is the idea that we own it.
The friends that we made all along.
And the friends that we made along the way.
But anyway. That is my favorite thing to say at all times is the friends we made all along. I don't know why I've fallen in love with it, but I really, really do.
And I'm calling it right now. That's what the fucking One Piece actually is.
I've said that so many times because my buddy who reads One Piece has consistently said he doesn't know what the One Piece is, and I always tell him, "Oh, hey, maybe it's the friends we've made all along." And then, like, I actually got to meet one of the Whitebeard's voice actor, and he goes, the guy next to me is like, "I just think it's the friends we made all along." And then another actor was like, "No, they've just announced that it's actually a metaphysical form of infinite energy." And he goes, "I like my answer better."
but here's the thing. I'm like, canonically, like that would be such a like a Roger answer. Like, you know, that would be his whole like last act. Like, screw you guys. You can't. It's kill the idea.
Yeah, it was something. It's just like, well, that was like also a Toriyama dying. Like, he went. Who writes it? Who writes One Piece? Oda.
Yeah, Oda.
Right. Oda like made an announcement of like rethinking things in his life. He's like, I want to do this. I want to do this. Take a vacation. Probably figure out what the One Piece is.
That's a very Oda thing to say.
But I also like from a writing level, like I kind of get it because like overall in the story, the actual One Piece itself like isn't that important.
No, I get that, but eventually if you come to the end and it goes, it was a pair that wilted and died.
It's Sephiroth at the end going, "Shall I give you despair?"
Yeah, it's that fucking reminds me of. Has anyone seen that stupid ass commercial in Japan with Ryuk with the Apple Pen? Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely.
So they have fucking Ryuk from Death Note where they're talking about the Apple Pen. He goes, "Apple Pen." I can't do it without laughing.
And pineapple apple pen.
Pineapple pen. It's fucking stupid. That's shitting on me. God, just doing this stupid things I've seen.
Yeah, along with Long Man. Stupid Long Man. Oh God.
All right. Anyway, so we've got a couple more of the gaming sphere here. All right. FIFA announces a partnership with Konami that will see esports come to eFootball.
God. This is like literally like Rosemary's Baby. Like this is like a satanic announcement. Like this is like all the evil in the world combined.
When your evils combined, we are FIFA 2000. Whatever the fuck.
I will say, as much as it sucks, if it actually gives them money and they make good quality Silent Hill games again, which they did with the remake, I'll be happy. But that's about it.
I mean, there's one silver lining.
There's a silver lining in everything because you're not.
At least it can be
it's not good
source of funding for them, I suppose.
All right. So, Kiona, did you play any of Black Myth at all?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, you played a good chunk. Apparently, the budget was $43 million. Which, considering the loop gameplay, it looked like most of it was put into making the surroundings, the characters, and everything operate well, and then look really good.
Yeah.
Because it is a very basic game. It plays very well, and it looks phenomenal.
It plays very well. Yeah.
We estimated
it looks
that
really phenomenal.
We estimated that the total development cost of Black Myth Wukong is more than 300 million RMB, which is 43 million US dollars.
Yeah.
And they sold now, at this point, they've sold 20 million copies. They've almost sold as many copies as they spent millions of dollars on the game. That's kind of nuts.
That's I
mean,
crazy.
for like a domestic game, and by domestic I mean like the Chinese market, and that isn't like a gacha game. Yeah, that's actually kind of impressive.
Like, can you imagine if they sell 43 million copies and they literally sold a copy per dollar spent on the game?
Yeah.
So you would have made 60 times your $43 million budgets.
Oh, what a crazy idea of like actually budgeting your games into something that's feasible. What an idea. What a concept.
Like, they've done good with that. Like, some studios are really good. Like, Studio Santa Monica, like, I want to say the original God of War 2018 was sub 60 million. And that game's freaking long and detailed and amazing.
I mean, I'm not advocating for crunch or anything. And yes, and the problem is this: they still, even regardless if a game's like $300 million, the devs aren't really getting paid like compensated because they're union busters, and there's not a lot of unions for all of them. But I'm like, on a conceptual level, I just don't think games should cost over $200 million.
Yeah. They shouldn't, but what starts going into it is the long ass development cost of the fact that these things take 5 years to make. That's how they end up costing so much. Which is the shitty part, because now it's you're renting out mocap studios, you're sending people out to do scouting to make sure locations are accurate. Like in Spider-Man's case, you're actually having to spend money to license buildings in New York to put into the game. And
but for something like that, it's Spider-Man. With a big IP like that, you're going to make your money back. So it's like, whatever, you got to do what you got to do. I feel like, and this is kind of like concurrently a lot of the issue of Hollywood right now is that no one knows how to fucking plan shit anymore.
Oh, no.
They don't.
No one knows.
Agreed.
No, that's
because that's how so much of this money gets burned, is that you're not like properly like scheduling things out. So then you have to go back and like redo shit. I'm like, look, you have to come up with an idea, commit to that idea, and do it within a reasonable 3 to 5 year period.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I know. If only it were that simple and we didn't have CEOs who are more interested in vintage cars, but whatever.
Speaking of things that went as planned, Joker 2 earned $2.2 million this past Friday, a 90% drop from its domestic opening day. The film might be the highest box office drop for a comic book movie ever this weekend, and it's got to be one of the worst drops ever. People keep saying comic book movies, but that's got to be ever.
Yeah, I think overall,
that's got to be ever.
Yeah, I think unless it's like a limited screening, like if it was a 1 week screening, like that's the only way, like mathematically, it would be worse. But in Joker's case, all went according to Keikaku. Keikaku means plan.
So it doesn't get much better when you look at like the weekend. In its second week, it only made it came in at number 4, behind Beetlejuice, and The Wild Robot, and the surprise number 1 hit, Terrifier 3. And
how much did Terrifier 3 make, Mike?
18.9 million off a $2 million budget.
Yeah, what an idea. Honestly, good for that team, and they've kind of built a little something over like the last 8 years.
Yeah, that's probably one of the more impressive, just organic, like.
I mean, they took a risk, because I don't think the other ones had like full theatrical like releases. They were either VOD or like 1 week, limited like run. So I mean, that they actually took a risk. I mean, they were like, well, Salem Slot's no longer theatrical, and we don't really have any competition, so why not?
Yeah, is they had a perfect opportunity, plus with the fan base just organically growing over the past like 6 years or 8 years, whatever. Yeah, this was like the perfect opportunity, and it all paid off well for them. Meanwhile, Joker dropped 81.4% and couldn't even compete with movies that have been out for like weeks at a time.
And it's going to be out on DVD and digital the 29th.
Nice.
Yep, which is the day of my birthday. But
happy birthday!
Return to sender.
Would you like Joaquin Phoenix to sing you happy birthday?
I've seen him sing the Joker. No, you wouldn't.
While talking about milk, do you remember that at the Oscars a few years ago? That was so fucking weird.
Kind of glad I don't watch the Oscars, judging by that statement.
Mike, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I still can't understand what he was talking about.
Remember when he was the first pick to be Doctor Strange and turned it down?
Yep. Oh, God.
Ooh.
And then we got lucky and got Benedict Cumberbatch to be Doctor Strange.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Sometimes
yes.
The obvious choice is a correct one.
Bendy Dick, come on my back.
Yes.
There's a great YouTube video of a woman saying like 68 versions of his name.
Oh, there he is. There he
Umbreon's
is.
finally here.
Umbreon's here.
All right. Now, I know that a good portion of us were born in the 90s, going a little bit earlier in the 80s.
A lot a bit earlier, yeah.
This kind of makes me sad being a kid that grew up on this, but Hasbro is essentially auctioning off everything that has the Power Rangers tag on it.
That is sad.
And did not even try to ask any of the actors if they wanted first dibs on it.
Oh wow! What the hell?
It's so scummy. I heard about it a few months ago. So, because I think there's a movement right now just saying, hey, if there's any actors that have like publicly, said, hey, I want my costume, like, don't bid for this shit.
There's a good group of people that are all together saying, hey, don't bid on this. Let them have it so they can like take it to cons, do stuff with it, photo shoots and things like that.
Absolutely.
And like even like go to children's hospitals and stuff with it. It's like
Yes.
And I'm kind of scared that like Power Rangers is done because they had that deal fall through at Netflix. They stupidly, I'm going to be really honest here. This might be a mini rant. I don't know what. Fuck everyone that let that reboot fail.
I know that honestly, that was the biggest missed opportunity because I loved it. It was like the perfect way to modernize Power Rangers. Like the casting, like, oh my God, like almost every one of them went out to be superstars. I'm like, and you know, Rita Repulsa, the blatant, like, just probably the funniest use of like product placement ever.
Yeah, it like that was great. Everyone in the casting was good. You actually got Billy Cranston to be fucking Zordon. And people that don't know, Billy Cranston or
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
The reason why I'm saying Billy Cranston and what I was going to get to, Bryan Cranston is deeply embedded in Power Rangers. The reason why the original Blue Ranger's name is Billy Cranston is because of Bryan Cranston. Yeah, and he voiced like a shit ton of monsters in the original MMPR run. He was deeply embedded in that show. So getting him back to be Zordon and you had Bill Hader as Alpha? Like, how did we... And I tell you...
I'm so glad I took my nephew to see it in theaters.
That's literally what I was just about to talk about. My nephews used to live behind the movie theater, like in like a cul-de-sac. And I went to Amanda, like, okay, Amanda, I'm not asking you a question. I'm letting you know that I'm kidnapping all three of the boys to take them to go see Power Rangers. This is like non-negotiable. I don't care what you're doing on Friday. They're mine. This is an uncle moment that you're not taking from me. She just goes, I was kind of figuring you were going to do that, so I did not plan anything. I'm like, good. And then me leaving past her house, having to drive past the theater, knowing I'm seeing it with them tomorrow. I'm sitting at the intersection going, fuck it, popped it in reverse, drove back. Like, I'm seeing it tonight. I could see it again with them tomorrow. And then sat down, and I'm like, whole theater to myself. I'm like, wish some other 90s kids would have showed up, but I guess I'm going to have the whole theater to myself. And all of a sudden I look over, and the one friend who had talked with me about seeing this movie for a month goes, I knew you would be here. And I see him running down the freaking aisle and like hugs me. And like, we're sitting there watching it. When I tell you that I had an Endgame's Portal-esque reaction to when the Zords finally fly across that desert plain and the old OG theme hit, my inner child
I did too. And I mean, I watched Power Rangers when I was airing, but I don't think because I was still on the younger end that I was like super into it. But after that, I was like, oh, fuck yeah.
Like, that's one thing that I also, everyone is like, oh, everyone says the 90s was so great when it wasn't. No, it was. Because you do not get theme songs for fucking cartoons like you did with Power Rangers. There's no way they would put the effort into it like they did with that shit. If you have to listen to the full song of that, it rips so hard. Oh. But
yes, Umbreon, we honestly, what we did of like all the things, I'm like, no, that's, we fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And like, they introduced Tommy in the post-credit. I was just like,
yeah, that's right. They did.
I couldn't wait. And then they're just like, well, it didn't make $1 billion, but it was successful. So we're going to reboot it and make it so that the show matches with the movie and do a full reboot. Like, why? No, that never worked originally.
Yeah.
The movies were okay, but they never tied back in. They were literally non-canonical because they wouldn't fit with the show.
Right. I mean, they were just anime movies, basically.
Pretty much. Basically. Like, they literally ignored them in the canon. I'm like, what was the fucking point? And if I remember
I'm a frog.
I'm a frog. Johnny and Basha, love you so much. The kind of frog that grows up into a handsome prince. Have you hugged your Zords today? Oh man, I got to be like within. Did you end up rewatching the first Digimon movie? Yes, I did, Umbreon. I haven't gotten the Blu-rays yet to see the new dub of it, but I did end up rewatching the old one because I have the original VHS that my mom got me when it came out when I was a kid. So yes, we were talking about that on stream. Yes, I did. That movie soundtrack is unbelievable. The original Digimon films. It has everything from Bare Naked Ladies to the Mighty Mighty Boss tones on it. It's one of the most 90s soundtracks ever.
I don't know which one's more wilder, that or the Pokemon the first movie soundtrack.
I had that on cassette.
They're both pretty ridiculous.
Honestly, we need to normalize anime having licensed music again because that's when time was good. Life was good.
And like we talked about it before, but like the song selling the movie, we need to go back to that a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. All right. I'm going to let Mike, you carry this because I didn't get to read up a whole lot on it before I put it on there. So you go nuts.
Okay. Give me a second while I actually pull up the official announcement. But yeah, Toho, one of the many mega corporations in Japan, acquired G-Kids yesterday. Brie, I'll let you go first while I pull up the official announcement.
I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere, but it's not like super surprising. It's kind of in line with, some of Toho's moves over the last 12 months or so. Like with the decision to self-distribute Godzilla -1, which worked out very, very well for them. And then it's either a controlling stake or complete buyout of like Science Saru. So like the moves have been there to obviously expand like within Japan, but also like internationally. I'm kind of curious what this means for G-Kids, like non-anime films. Although I feel like one of Toho's reasonings for acquiring G-Kids was their wide portfolio. of not just like Japanese entertainment, although like Japanese entertainment's still like a big part of it.
Okay, so here's from Variety. G Kids will become a wholly owned subsidiary of the Los Angeles-based Toho International. Founder Eric Beckman will remain as CEO of G Kids, and Dave Gested will remain as president. Beckman and Gested have run the company since 2009 when they released The Secret of Kells. Since then, they've grown G Kids and amassed over 13 Best Animated Feature nominations at the Academy Awards, including this recent win for Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron. Toho president and CEO Hiro Matsuoka said, "Through their hard work, vision, and integrity, G Kids has built a unique position in the U.S. market, which dovetails perfectly with Toho's own strengths and strategic mission. This partnership accelerates Toho's goals to prioritize animation, develop international markets, and support IP creation, while bringing exceptional Japanese and animated content to global audiences. We are honored to be working together with Eric, Dave, and the entire G Kids team and welcome them into the Toho family." So it kind of sounds to me like G Kids will just continue being the same thing. They just have more resources now with Toho.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's a thing that I think I've only shown Mike. We were doing the fresh takes of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and someone made a fake intro to Neon Genesis, the G Kids version, and it's one of the funniest fucking things.
It's a 4
the 4 kids.
Oh, the 4 kids. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Shinji was, boy down in New Orleans.
New Orleans. Shinji, get in. Oh god, it's so fucking funny. God, it was great.
I think my soul just died a little. Okay, anyway.
It's fantastic. It is hilarious.
My soul just left my body, I mean, for like a second there.
And they all sing the national anthem. No. Not quite.
Oh, have you ever seen the edit of like Shinji crank that Soja Boy?
Yes, I don't need to speak about that. I don't need to speak about that.
Fucking hell.
Rice balls called no, that would be Pokemon. They didn't think people would know what rice balls were, so they called them donuts. But all right. So we popped together an other thing on here because it's stuff that didn't quite have gaming and new weird tastes, but I want to get some other stuff into here. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I grew up listening to Eminem a lot when I was younger. White boy with anger issues when I was younger. Shocking, I listened to Eminem. But I had a good relationship with my mom, so there's some give and take there. On the 3rd, the Temporary music video came out, and I've been watching it on repeat. And I'm going to tell you, I know that I'm getting older. I don't know if I've ever felt my knees crinkle quite as hard as when I saw Haley pass Eminem a photo showing that he was going to be a grandpa.
Oof.
I remember seeing videos of her in music when she was like this tall. Mm-hmm. She's having a kid. Eminem's a grandpa. I feel ancient now.
Like I still have vivid memories of the Mockingbird music video.
Yeah, exactly. That's unreal to me. I honestly cried. I felt like that was a kid I watched grow up through all of that, and me having, not shocking that I got a name change, a piece of shit dad growing up that did not care about me. Watching of all things in life, showing that at the heart of it, probably one of the best dads that we never give credit to in all of pop culture is Marshall Mathers. a guy who turned down multiple $10 to $100 million in touring money because he didn't want to have his daughter grow up when he wasn't around.
Mm.
The dude does not get enough credit for how he also, I didn't know this till I was growing up, adopted his niece fully. Is it Elena? I want to say. And then also adopted a kid that he wasn't even blood related to. I want to say it was Kim's sister's kid that wasn't doing well. Just because to have a good growing up.
Wow.
And then raised all of them with the best hair in the world. And like his main problem that he's had with some other rappers is them being shit to their kids. Like,
I mean, yeah, when you compare him to other rappers out there, like, yeah, just go ahead and give him Father of the Year.
It is, and it's one of those things that never get talked about with credits for how good he's done and just some other things. Like the amount of respect I have for him is through the roof. So yeah, it's just one of those things that that's just one of those feeling old moments. When I saw that ultrasound photo at the end of that music video, I'm like, how the hell is Haley having children?
I know.
That's not acceptable. That is my I need to go get an AARP card moment. Like, what the actual hell? That broke my brain. But all right, so I didn't know this was the thing the FTC was fighting for, but I'm pretty happy about it.
Oh, I am too.
The FTC has announced the click to cancel rule that will require all companies to let you cancel any product as easily as you registered. Long, difficult cancellation processes will now be made illegal. If you signed up with a click, they'll have to let you cancel with a click.
Oh, let me just shed a tear for Adobe. Just
you're not going to be sucked into those fucking blood packs anymore.
No, I mean, I have to for like his work, but like, what if? Yeah, honestly, I'm like, really enough, the FTC has been kind of killing it the last couple of months.
Yeah, they've been actually like wanting to do good things. Wasn't even something I knew they were pursuing.
Honestly, this is like a long time is coming because it's just so exploitative, and honestly, it should have been made illegal a long time ago. But I think the actual implementation per FTC policy is 6 months from the announcement, so it's happening at the start of probably the first fiscal quarter of 2025. So.
Yeah, like this, and I don't remember if it was exactly them, but like non-compete clauses being made illegal as well.
Yes,
so you don't have to wait.
That's a good one.
That's a big one. That one I was a big fan of, especially being a wrestling fan. Anyone that left WWE like just wasn't allowed to work for like 3 to 6 months.
I've never really understood the point of like non-compete.
Yeah. And here's the thing: I'm not even like super like enamored by capitalism, but it's just honestly like something like a non-compete is like so anti-capitalist. I'm like, how is that even a thing?
What they wanted to do, at least in wrestling cases, is like say, I don't want to explain this. One of the biggest ones was with a guy by the name of John Good. His wrestling name is John Moxley. He was Dean Ambrose in WWE. Like he just let his thing run out. And normally they throw a non-complete clause on there, but he was like, no, I'm just being done. It's this. I want to go do some movies and that and not wrestling, and like managed to trick them into thinking that he's not going to do wrestling for a while. And then showed up like 2 weeks later on a competitor's pay-per-view for a giant pop. Like they don't want you to like, while you're still hot off of their product, show up somewhere else so that opposing product can get a huge bump from you bringing over that. They want the 3 months to pass so that people forget about you. That's the reason.
Oh.
That's why they want it to happen. Because like with Hulk Hogan showing up and all this other stuff on opposite attractions, like I want to say it was Alundra Blaze showing up on WCW with WWF's women's championship belt and throwing it in a trash can. Like they don't want stuff like that happening. Because it kind of hurts your credibility. WCW whooped their ass for a good amount of weeks for a good reason. But all right. Speaking on that, another absolute win for a guy who I've been a huge fan of for a while. Any of you watch WWE for an extended amount of time don't know who the wrestler Edge is?
I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with him.
Like, you don't need to know a lot, but he's after he got in some hot water with like some unfaithful things, he got to be a lot better person and like made up for it and like kind of reconciled and got over all that stupid shit that he did. Tony Khan, who is the head of AEW now, mentioned that Adam Copeland, and no one knew about this until Tony mentioned it because Adam didn't want to make a big deal out of it, has been assisting FEMA in recovering bodies from the wreckage of houses caused by Hurricane Helene.
Nice.
Just in his spare time, helping getting bodies out.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oof.
I liked him before. I love this guy.
Anytime like people with like a huge platform like that go out of their way to help others in those situations, they earn my respect like tenfold.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and there was another one that it wasn't exactly this exact situation, but it's a wrestler that actually sadly passed away. I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Shad Gaspard. He was with his son in, I want to say, Florida.
Yeah, believe it was.
He was with his son, and a riptide caught his son and started dragging him out. And like he jumped in the water to save his son, and rescuers were coming in to try and get it. And he basically threw his son at the rescuers and said, "Get him out of here. I don't matter." And he passed away in the waves, and his son survived. Yeah, it's
horrible.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Okay, so we going back to our new little subject that we added last week. I kind of cheated, and I have 2 entries in the social media / internet was a mistake. So, my first entry, I want to add that everything I've learned about this person has been against my will.
Oh God.
Here we go.
Asmongold, in his ever-growing wisdom of how he presents himself, the guy who lives in literal poverty and has had cockroaches crawl on him in the middle of stream. Not joking whatsoever. Asmongold on the genocide in Gaza. I don't give a F. They're terrible people. They come from an inferior culture. Oh, he also said they deserve to be genocided in there as well. Inferior culture coming from the guy who lives in literal filth.
And here's the thing, too. I'm like, I wonder what his opinions on Jews are, too.
Don't worry. One of his biggest supporters is Jeremy Griggs, so you can take from that what you want. So, and then the next day, he put out his statement, which was essentially, and I'm not joking, he literally said this, "My bad. I need to watch how I say things. I'll get better."
Yeah, don't say.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
I'm like, how could that have been misinterpreted? How could you have said that better?
And there was a streamer, Hassan, I want to say, that he was on afterwards that did backtracking that I can only describe as Olympic level.
Here's the thing with like Hassan, like you don't fuck with Hassan ever, because that man keeps the receipts.
He does. And then he got banned from Twitch, which I'm learning now has been only for 2 weeks, sadly. But yeah, and he admitted that his life has been slowly spiraling out of control and he's turned into a person that he doesn't like. I'm like, so you're turned into you.
Yeah.
Basically.
Wow, big streamer turns out to be a dick. I'm so shocked.
Because you've been like this for a while, and I'm going to bring up some tweets that made me very happy, because there's always tweets that back up other tweets, which is just the best. Where is this? So Asmongold says all of that, and then literally a year ago, weird as fuck to see many people coming out with statements about the Israel/Palestine conflict as if they need to comment on it. Can we please stop all this weird culture around expecting people with no relevant background or education to talk about the world's events/politics?
There's always a goddamn tweet.
There is.
Umbreon, just leave it at that. But anyway, yeah, that was my first entry, and I promise I'll only do one next week, but because I just had to get it in there. Now, the one that I put in originally before Asmongold shoved his foot in his mouth clean up to his crotch. Apparently Aaron Pierre isn't black enough to be Jon Stewart.
Oh, yay. We're talking about colorism on this podcast.
I don't talk about politics, but I do talk about stupid. This is stupid. Because I know I've mentioned this in the past, but I'm going to bring up that people only care about this stuff when they want to bitch about it. And I'm going to bring up my two favorite examples. I probably talked about this before, and if I have, I apologize. Everyone remembers the movie Batman Begins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I love that movie. It's my favorite Batman movie. It's fantastic. I actively think that the Dark Knight trilogy got worse as they went along, but that's just me. That's a topic for another time. But anyway, so in this movie, we have Ra's al Ghul. Hey, Kiona, what is the ethnicity of a one Ra's al Ghul?
I do believe that he is supposed to be. I mean, I guess the blanket term would be someone from the Middle East.
Arabic.
Something
like that.
Yes.
Cool. So naturally, you cast Liam Neeson.
And
because
I mean, I get it. I mean, this was 2005, and post 9/11, things were not good for Arabs in media.
No, because they were okay with putting people that could have been raised in the movie, just not as him, which is what we're going to get to. So then they have this movie come out. Everyone loves it. It's great. And they say it's a part of one of the best live action trilogies of all time. They don't make a single comment about how the most Irish man on the planet played someone who's supposed to be Arabic. No one cared. Why? Because it was good and they liked it. Now, we're going to talk about the most backward ass version of this that has ever existed, in my opinion. We're going to fast forward a couple of years to Iron Man 3. So, they announce a character called the Mandarin. I'm going to ask you again. What ethnicity do you think a character called the Mandarin would likely supposed to be?
It was supposed to be Chinese.
Oh, my mistake. I thought that you'd want to get one of the most English people who was actually knighted, Sir Ben Kingsley, to play the role. Now, when he's announced, everyone applauds, shakes from the rafters. My God, perfect casting. And then, when it's revealed later on in the movie that the Englishman isn't playing the Chinese supervillain, then people had a problem with it.
My name's Trevor.
I don't know what kind of racism I'm supposed to call that, but I'd love someone to tell me how you define that.
You could just call it stupid.
Like, there's a label for everything now. I've never been able to have someone accurately label the type of racism that is outside of stupid. What? So we have those examples. And then now, This guy's not dark enough to be Jon Stewart. And
I don't have any words.
So, and also, I don't know how many comics you read, Bree, but I know that me, Mike, and Kiona have read a decent amount. How consistent are characters' skin tones?
Not very.
Not really.
Not even from the covers are they consistent.
No.
No, they really are. It's almost like Kiona looks 100% done. Yeah. He's been having a long day. But yeah.
Well, I mean, so here's a little mini rant for you, because this does kind of have a correlation to my life. So way back when I was in high school, I'm part Hawaiian, which you can't really tell. I mean, maybe you can if you look really, but you can't really tell that I'm part Hawaiian. Apparently, so there was a private school thing that was set up by the government and all that stuff, and it's kind of like it's a private school, but it's also like they do have like government funding and things like that, because you're supposed to only let through people that are Hawaiian go to the school, Native Hawaiian only. I am actually part Native Hawaiian, and when I tried to get into that school, basically my folks wanted to try at the very least, and so filled out all the forms and everything like that, and gave them whatever statistics I could on my ethnicity and things like that, and they said, "Oh, you're not Hawaiian enough." So yeah, and then I was like, well, how much is enough? I mean, what, because I look Caucasian? Like, yeah, what do you want me to do, So anyway, regardless of that, I mean, so I understand sort of the feeling of, having people say that about you, and it's like
it is shitty.
It's just crazy that like we live in this day and age and like people are saying that shit.
Do you know my other favorite one that I just remembered now? Was when Will Smith was cast as the genie, and he couldn't be the genie because he was black.
Even though the genie on Broadway has always been black, and that show had already been running like 6 or 7 years.
That's not even nearly the point I'm making. The genie is not black or white. The genie's fucking blue.
I remember when that happened.
But,
yeah, I'm not sure that anybody knew that.
He's a fucking
really.
genie.
Yeah. Not really sure anybody understood that. So that's why I looked 100% done, because I kind of am.
Yeah. The Jon Stewart thing sounds dumb, that sometimes there's a reason at the core issue. The real darker skin rep is a problem in Hollywood too. It is right, but are we gonna go, hey man, you nailed that role? Skin ain't dark enough, get to the back of the line.
The thing of it is that nobody's asking the real question here, which is, can he play the role?
Yeah.
Does he want to play the role? Can he play the role? Is he talented enough to play the role? Yeah, then let him play the role.
That was the same thing with what really pissed me off about the Fan Four Stick movie. Everyone said that you can't have Sue and Johnny have the same relationship if one of them's adopted. They can't truly love each other if one of them's adopted.
Oh, well, I guess, fuck foster kids and adopted kids then.
Yeah, I'm going to be really honest with you.
Who comes up with this shit?
Because of an event that happened in 6th grade that stopped my father from seeing me after a really fucking heinous thing he did. My entire dad's side of the family, even though there was actual video evidence to prove otherwise, completely sided with my dad on this thing that he did to me and my mom and my mom's boyfriend at the time, and lost that entire side of the family. And then my mom's side of the family was being completely stupid, because despite the fact that, again, there was video evidence, they actually started calling my mom a liar. So I lost both sides of my family in like 2 weeks for that for a while until they stopped being stupid on my mom's side of the family and realized that, oh, we weren't being dumb. And then for a while, all I had was the family I changed my name to, and they treated me like they'd known me since birth. And then I have those people treating me like their actual child, brother, cousin, whatever you want to say. And they've barely known me for like 5 years. And then I see people saying that he can't be Johnny Storm because he's not white, and then Sue can't love him because they're not adopted. First of all, if out of that entire room you had 5 white actors and they all bombed their auditions, and then Michael B. Jordan fucking nailed it, and you go, yeah, sorry, but people are racist, so we can't cast you.
He was probably my favorite part of that whole movie, to be honest. I think he did a really good job as Johnny.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest with you, other than parts of well, I should say Doom was terrible, but that wasn't Kibble's fault. And then parts of Miles Teller as Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Everyone else in that movie was casted great. The movie just sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
other than the first third.
Yeah, the first third was actually quite good.
Making them get their powers a science experiment gone wrong was a fucking stroke of genius.
Yeah, honestly, that's the thing about like fans. Yeah, I think that's the thing that really pisses me off about Fantastic is that it could have worked. Like legitimately, it could have worked, and the studio and whatever happened behind the scenes, it's just a sad missed potential. Because just imagine if that movie had done well, like how different things would have been. I mean, I'm still excited about the new one, but still,
me too.
I'm excited about a Fantastic Four movie that's being made not because you want to retain the rights in time.
Same.
Because you genuinely want to make a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah. That I'm excited about that prospect about the movie alone.
Same.
But again, the feeling of like that scene where Miles Teller as Mr. Fantastic is walking through the grates, watching his friends turn into horror show science experiments.
Yeah.
That's what would happen if it happened to them in comics. Everyone's like, well, sugarcoat it. They got hit by cosmic rays and no, you got hit by alien waves and gained powers where you turn into a rock and start on fire. It's not good.
Yep.
Just so many good ideas just wasted. I mean, honestly, there's a lot worse comic book movies than Fantastic. I would just say it's disappointing because, like, you could clearly see that there was a good movie to be salvaged in there, and it just
potential.
Didn't happen.
The potential was there.
Yeah,
absolutely, the potential was there.
I mean, I think even like if you look back at the other two Fantastic Four, like the Tim Story movies, they had some good aspects to them too. Like Michael Chiklis was a great Ben Grimm.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't even know why they get that much like flack. I mean, they're not great, but they're also like not terrible.
They're not like the worst movies I've ever seen.
Especially compared to like everything else, like other than Spider-Man that was coming out at that time.
They are, but they did some things that overcast really like.
Yeah.
Some people like to forget that Galactus is a giant shit cloud.
Okay, that was genuinely awful.
That was Ultimate Galactus, though, was it not? That was like the ultimate version of that.
I don't remember that, but
because in the comics, he was a gaseous cloud.
But
like in the Ultimate comic
cloud,
version,
he literally looked like a floating chunk of diarrhea in space in the movie.
Yeah, he literally did. Honestly,
despite the fact that that's what he is in Ultimates, I don't know. It looked bad.
No. I mean,
because volumetrics weren't really quite a thing in like 2007, so that's just limitations of tech.
Yeah, in that movie, I like
Silver Surfer. He was actually really good.
Yeah, the Silver Surfer was great, but like the switching powers stuff got cringy after a while.
That was dumb. That was dumb.
So, like the parts in the movie weren't great, but like the actors were good. It's just that again, they make at that point they were making movies to retain rights.
Yeah.
So they weren't exactly taking time to plan them. But and again, I'm looking forward to a Doctor Doom that doesn't have electricity or head popping powers.
Oh God, that would be great. Honestly, yeah. I want an actual Doctor Doom, please.
Seriously.
We're probably not going to get it for a little bit, but at least maybe in the future we'll get like actual Victor Von Doom.
Yeah. But and everyone, he can be called Victor Von something.
Yeah, he can.
And then they not call him quite Doom, because I understand we're making comic book movies, but if they call him like Victor Domashev and they always like jokingly called him Doctor Doom because he's always really negative and then gets called Doctor Doom,
that'd be okay.
Or he earned that name because he's been around for so long. If they actually do the went back in time and went forward thing, that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah. Mike, since you entered this last one.
Oh, no, that was me. We got one bonus. I mean, I guess technically it is, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to start. I'm just going to read what I wrote. Zachary Levi is bitter because Shazam did not make him a superstar, and now he is making it everyone else's problem.
Yep.
The exact thing, if I remember it off the tweet, was, and I get what he's saying because it does make sense. He wanted it to be a breakout superhero role like they got with Chris Evans' Captain America. It just so happens that you got a comic book role in a company that didn't give a shit about its comic book characters.
Yep.
And here's like this thing too. I'm like, before he even went out the rails, I mean, Zachary Levi was fine-ish. I'm
what
like, but
happened
he wasn't
to him. Like,
I think he was kind of always that, and also I think
maybe
Baldwin happens, but the thing is, he was just never like, he was just like bargain bin Chris Pratt. I'm like, I mean, yes, Chris Pratt has his own things, but Chris Pratt is like talented enough and like keeps most of like his personal life like behind the scenes. I'm like,
I feel like there was so much, like there was that time when Comic-Con was going on and I really enjoyed watching things like, I enjoyed watching like Nerd Machine stuff because, the interviews and everything like that. And I just enjoyed that.
Nerd HQ was like,
yeah.
But like, what the hell happened? Like, I mean, look, they're always going to be that way. They're always that way. It's just that they're putting forth a public persona that is easy to like or whatever, but it's just that like, it just sucks because it's like, man, now I go back and watch that stuff and it's like I can't enjoy it as much. It's just because that it's just bullshit.
I'm trying to find
welcome to disillusionment. Maybe that's why Neo's upset tonight. Maybe that's why I just want to take a sledgehammer to this reality. Can I do that, please? Can I gain the powers of Galactus and just eat this Earth? Subways would probably taste not so great.
I'm trying to go back to where the breaking point was for Levi because
where was that?
Yeah, I definitely think like the one where you could definitely see it was Shazam 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that was kind of obvious, but even before that, I'm like I guess one of the signs was him playing Kurt Warner in that Kurt Warner documentary.
About that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then he was in like that like Christian like movie, which like anime movie, which what, fine, but like whatever, like not my biggest cup of tea. I think it was like The Star or whatever, but that had like a lot of like other celebrities, so there wasn't anything that necessarily like was like a significant red flag.
But other than that, like, yeah, he is basically the guy that we all think Chris Pratt is.
But yeah, it was one of those where I think honestly part of it was bitterness that he got shafted around on a lot of roles. Because there was a couple of things where like he bounced around, and who was he in that he got bounced in and around in Thor?
Oh,
because there was that situation where he was supposed to play the part in the first movie and then didn't because of something, and then ended up doing it in the second one and then didn't get cast in the third one because they killed all the characters off.
Well, I think he got killed. No, I think he got killed off in Ragnarok. But wasn't his role originally played by Once Upon a Time guy?
I can't remember who the actor was, but he was supposed to do it, and then scheduling conflict said no. And then whoever it was, scheduling conflict said no for the second one. So then he got to go. Yeah. Yes. So then he got to come back for 2 and then got killed off in the third one. So every time he got into a big role, it got shortchanged. And I can't say that I wouldn't be pissed too, but it's one of those hold that shit in kind of deals.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, look, you go in for like 1 or 2 days of work, you collect your paycheck and just go on your way. It's not really anything personal.
No.
Bathroom were in charge after they were appointed and say they're not friends with me if there's no future for them. Yeah, that's one of those. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people said things around that takeover that they shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people were going to lose their jobs, whether they were doing a good job or not, because that whole thing needed to get restarted. There was no saving where it was, and then everyone wanted it to get restarted, except they didn't want anything to change. Because somehow, that's a thing. But, Breakable Boy. I did not hear about that. But
I've heard of that.
Yeah. But, him, really standing for Joe Rogan probably should have been more of a sign.
Oh, that's definitely a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can decide in the comments. That's kind of what we're going to try here for now on, that we're going to each try and get a candidate for that and decide which one you thought was the stupidest in the comments. So we'll kind of go off of
choices. You have options.
You do have options, yes. All right. That's pretty much all we had for this week. A little bit on the shorter end, but that's okay. All right. Bree, where can everybody find you?
At Crazy Lemur, or some variation of a Lemur on most places. I exist in this space. I am not sure how much longer Twitter's going to exist, because apparently the terms of services doesn't apply to that. But whatever, who cares? You can find me somewhere.
Mike?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook, and as long as it's still up, that place at Ren Pop Culture. You could also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need escape? Yeah. So do we.
Yeah, follow him on that place before it becomes the ball pit at DashCon.
Yeah, that place, Neoplasmic 24. If you want to follow me there at that place. Also on Instagram and Threads at Neoplasmic 81. And on Twitch, twitch.tv/Neoplasmic. I play video games badly, and I also do the Meltdown interview show, which is a show about life and existence and all that crazy shit. So just did an episode with my friend Paul, who co-hosts he hosts both the Buffyverse and the Lost with Friends podcasts. So definitely check that out.
Absolutely. You can find me on pretty much everything, even Blue Sky, if that ends up being the new one, at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, I'll be Life is Strange in the living shit out of my Twitch for the next couple of weeks until the other games comes out. So yeah, until next time, we will see you folks later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.